Hey guys, Mustarde here with No Nonsense Gamers. I thought I would use this footage to make another gameplay and commentary video about my favorite class of weapons, the automatic scout rifles. This includes the Terran Republic's SOAS-20, the Vanu Sovereignty's Artemis VX-26, and the new conglomerate's Shadow. This first scene will be used as background while I talk about the scout rifles and how I've come to use them. The best way to think about the automatic scout rifles is to compare them to a weaker version of the medic assault rifles. They sacrifice rate of fire, magazine size, and in some cases velocity, in order to gain accuracy, as well as the ability to be used on the infiltrator class. The stats of the weapon: the rate of fire is 652 rounds per minute with a velocity of 500 meters a second. Bullet damage is a standard 143 out to 10 meters, and 125 out to 60 meters. The magazine size is 24, and the reload speeds have been buffed over time, and currently sit at 2.64 long and 2 seconds short. The attachments for the scout rifles include most standard items. You have your flash suppressor, and compensator for the barrel, flashlight, laser sight, and forward grip for the rail, and a standard selection of scopes. Unfortunately, there are no options for high velocity ammo or soft point. While I won't try to tell you which loadout to use, my personal preference is the compensator and forward grip with either the IRNV or the 2X scope. These loadouts I've developed my playstyle around and I'm very comfortable with. I personally find that suppressors aren't worth the loss in velocity or the loss of recoil that you would otherwise have with a compensator. The hipfire is already good enough that the laser sight makes little difference to me. But don't just take it from me. Try them all out and see what you think.
Oh god, more wins in here.
So let's get into how we use these weapons. The short version is this. The automatic scout rifles are very good at getting headshots. If you have good aim, not only will you be rewarded with kills, but you will find yourself able to take on heavy assaults as well as other classes in one-on-one situation. The difference is your success is not only determined by good aim, but positioning. With the 24 round magazine, you will typically only kill one target at a time before reloading. In close range situations or environments where you're getting lots of headshots, you can sometimes kill two in a magazine, but this is not a consistent or reliable behavior. Thus the key is limiting your exposure to one enemy at a time, or having a selection of targets that you can shoot at without expecting much return fire. So this is more than just flanking. You have to flank and control your vectors of incoming fire if you want success. And in the next scene, I'll show you how I do this in practice. Lastly, I want to emphasize that burst fire of about 4 to 5 rounds is overall a best practice, although occasionally there are situations where you can dump the entire magazine for effective results. To summarize, automatic scout rifles are some of the most powerful weapons the infiltrator has to use. In my opinion, they're more versatile than the submachine guns, and I find them to be a more reliable companion when I'm not sniping. The fact that they can reliably hit headshots, which will bypass any nanoweave benefit, gives me more confidence when facing heavy assaults, who can usually survive enough bullets to force a magazine reload, which would otherwise put you at a significant disadvantage. There is a high skill cap to these weapons, both in your aim and your battle sense. But with practice, I think many of you will come to find that these weapons are a surprisingly effective tool in your generic combat scenario. And I also find them helpful when running with a squad, as it lets me provide range support while having the ability to get in close and hack objectives. I'll briefly comment on the other loadouts I use with the scout rifle, or I should say the other choices I make in my loadout. I prefer the ammo belt for the suit slot. As you can see in this scene here, I've already had to go back once for ammunition, just because of the ability to quickly burn through your ammo pool. I favor the compensator as a sidearm to accompany the scout rifle because of its high alpha damage, which often lets me finish off wounded targets. I use medkits as is standard when I'm playing infiltrator. And I also lately have been using the marker implant with the automatic scout rifle, which helps me spot targets as I'm shooting them. So this next video will be more of a commentary on the battle I was in recently while playing my NC character on Matherson. It illustrates many of the concepts we discuss here, and hopefully shows you what is possible with the automatic scout rifles. So this is an Indar alert that's wrapping up. I have a relatively low-certed NC character here, so I don't have my ammo belt maxed out or some of the other accessories I like to have. I have the IRNV scope equipped, which is probably not intentional. It was a loadout I had from a nighttime fight.
God, I hate that lane. It speaks to us.
And you can see here that we're trying to assault alkali shipping. We were on the point when I first got to this fight, but we've been pushed off, and the Vanu are now entrenched inside the base and pushing out against our Sunderer. Now the scout rifle is not a very good assault weapon, meaning I'm not using this to advance the front line or push through enemies, but merely to let them come into my lane of fire so I can dispatch them. And as you can see, the building on the left and on the right are both places that the enemy is coming from, so I am straddling this hill, kind of moving back and forth depending on where I take fire from. Which is a somewhat difficult balance to strike. And you can see me start to fall back here as I realize that it's not an ideal situation to be in, as I keep taking stray rounds from both sides.
Did not mean to do that.
One thing I'm trying to take advantage of is the open field that my enemy has to come through on the right. And so I keep peeking over there to see if anyone is sticking their heads out for me to take out. The scout rifles perform best kind of at that sweet spot in the middle range, which is exactly where that open field is here that I'm kind of trying to take people out from.
What?
As you can see here, that's kind of the ideal situation to be in. And then I get caught by surprise with some mag rider fire as well as that infiltrator. That's a good time to run back and recharge your health. And again, take advantage of the fact that you are not on the radar and your cloak lets you surprise enemies with this weapon. As you can see, hip fire is perfectly usable in close range.
There's an implant for that.
I know, I can't wait for it.
But the rifle actually performs well even beyond the range of the IRNV scope, which is why I typically only use it in nighttime environments. And I would have preferred to have the 2x scope in that moment. And again, I'm just trying to take advantage of the terrain and cover here. I start to run low on ammo, but unfortunately Mag Rider has now flanked our position and taken out the Sunderer. As is typical in the new conglomerate, it's kind of hard to find an ammo pack here, at least on Matherson. So I start asking these guys for ammo in proximity chat, and I start hitting V4, see if they can drop me some ammo. But as is standard, he drops a turret and keeps on shooting.
Yeah, because the first one was in a bad
At this
spot.
point, one option is to redeploy. Our Sunderer is gone. My squad is still here, but scattered and We don't have a spawn position. The enemy is defending, and with 1 minute left in the alert, it's a pretty hopeless situation. But I decide that it's worth sticking around to see just how long I can go. Fortunately, some Vanu have dropped ammo for me, and so I'm able to continue with this fight. Now, in indoor environments, the auto scout rifle is at a disadvantage,
Xander, do you have a sister?
so you really have to be prepared.
I'm sorry.
Now, something interesting happens here. I get double conked.
Damn it.
My response is to crouch, cloak, and just stand still. As you can see,
I barely knew her.
the breaching heavy assault wasn't prepared and ran right by me. I was able to get that kill. Now he was followed by his buddies, and I quickly saw that that was a losing environment and ran out of the room.
Live in a life of disgust.
And again, using the cloak here to take that heavy assault by surprise and finish him off without taking any damage.
Somebody's dead.
Now here would be another
Respawn.
moment that's worth redeploying, but my squad mates have asked for a beacon. And so I said, why not? We're still having fun. And the alert's almost over. So we drop the beacon, and we stick around. However, as we are overrun, I realize that this is really just going to end poorly. And I decide that I just want to get one more kill before the streak ends.
Battle rank 29.
Wow, that was.
So, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope this type of commentary was useful. And I'll try to do more of these in the future. So thanks again. This is Mastarde signing off.